Hello, folks. Hello. Cutter had dreamed about killing Jade. Not just soldiers, but anyone he come across. Like he would go to one of those big new skyscrapers in the capital, with a rifle, and lots of ammo, and just take out as many people as he could. Just march through the halls, and anyone in his path, he put them down. Cutter heard about some incident in Zeta back home where some guys massacred a bunch of Jade refugees in one of those Jade villages. You imagine it played out a lot like his dreams. There weren't nearly enough Jade in that break locked up in that internment camp to satisfy his anger, Cutter's anger. 24 people, he would go through them in an instant. He had his M16 and his ammo ready. He had a dozen mags on him, a full combat load. He'd maybe need a mag at most. He also had a pistol on him. What pistol am I thinking about? I keep thinking Glock, because it was kind of like Black Mesa, and the Glock was the pistol from the original Half-Life. I think they changed it to a Beretta in one of the high-definition packs, which doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does make more sense, because it's kind of like a military kind of facility, so you'd think the military would use the Beretta, which is our standard. Kind of wish it was said more modern day, so I could use the Beretta more. I like the Beretta. It's a stylish weapon. I guess if I owned a pistol, I'd want it to be a Beretta. Not that I own one. I don't think I'll ever own a. No need to, you know. I live in a safe part of town. He also had a pistol on him. Standard Darelli 9mm. Darelli is the stand-in for Beretta in this one. Not because I'm afraid of copyright, but because I just, you know, I change the names of everything else, so why not them too, you know? It'd be kind of weird to have, like, Glock and Beretta around in a universe that otherwise has, like, stand-ins for pretty much everything else. He had a pistol on him. A standard Darelli 9mm. He didn't plan on using that. Except maybe to shoot himself. It's a lot easier to do that than use the old M16. Much longer weapon. Cutter thought of times of many fierce battles in the World War back in Zeta, where things were desperate, and some men took their own lives. They didn't want to end up captives of the Jade, who were legendary for their cruelty. Those guys always, every guy Cutter saw take himself out, saw shoot himself, use the pistol. Sometimes they put it in their mouths, or sometimes against their head. Carter was pretty sure putting it in your mouth was the... Let's see, CPR. Check on CPR bit. What the hell is Amazon talking? So anyhow, you can always tell a robot voice from a living one, or a voice on the TV. At least I can. Maybe other people can't. Let's see. Cutter was pretty sure putting it in the mouth was the best way to do it. Pretty much guaranteed. Guaranteed to die. Die. Plenty of stories. Guys putting a gun to the temple and then surviving somehow. I heard that happened to some unfortunate Politican general in the last war. Or after he got caught in a pocket. In some pocket. Couldn't bear the shame of defeat. Oh, you spell it with an... You spell guarantee with an E instead of an A. Like rant, not rent, I guess. Teed. Bear the shame of defeat. There was a guy. Let's see. Cutter washed his face. And slicked back his hair. In the bathroom. Studied himself in the mirror. Felt a bit relief. You imagine he was going to die in the next few minutes. Probably killed by his own side. That was fine. Yes. He didn't want to stick around anyway to see these guys Jade attack and take this place. Kill everybody. Or do I want to stick around? Carter asked himself. Going down, killing the Jade had its pluses, had its positives in his mind. But the negative was the Jade would kill him. They'd finally get his ass after all these years trying. Didn't want them to have that satisfaction. What will happen, will happen, Cutter replied, uttered in a saddened way. Muttered to himself, a saddened way. Cutter finally went, took a piss, his final act, the bathroom. You heard it. Men sometimes pissed themselves after they died. Maybe that was less likely to happen with an empty bladder. Cutter was soon in that room outside of the internment camp. The gray monkeys watching him suspiciously through the glass walls. Oh, you have reason to be suspicious, Cutter thought. Plenty of reason to fear. Cutter approached the soldier there. Soldier on guard. Private Bowen, who came from somewhere in the Midwest, though his accent is kind of vague and not as strong as Cutter expected it to be. He was some young, blonde-haired guy with dark brown eyes. Cutter had seen him fighting earlier, and the man proved his bravery. Seen him fighting earlier, part of a line of troops squeezing out the bursts. Their M16s at the Jade, storming into the entrance. Kept his cool, and with some guys dropping all around him. Cutter would not kill him. Private, come with me. Cutter ordered. Bowen, being a young soldier of much lower rank, wasn't going to question. Yes, Sergeant. Bowen replied. Just a second. Just a second, folks. I gotta get myself a water. Soap. Yes, Sergeant. Bowen didn't have a helmet on. Cutter took up his pistol from his holster, making sure Bowen didn't see. Cutter led Bowen right out of the room into that adjacent concrete walled corridor. Before Bowen could say anything, Cutter spun around, whacked him in the forehead with his pistol. Bowen managed to let out a grunt. That's a grunt. Then he fell to the floor. He fell on his side somehow, and Cutter rolled him flat on his back. Confirmed he was unconscious. Cutter supposed if he was some total maniac, he was some maniac, he would have killed the man. And Cutter had no interest in killing Bowen. Only the Jade. Sorry to give you a headache, my friend. Also, there's some racism in this part, but that's part of the story. It's kind of strange that the idea that you could be prejudiced against a fictional group of people that you made up. I guess you could argue that the Jade are like a combination of Japanese and Germans, I guess. And people are making fictional ethnic groups, they should think about stuff like that. Like, what if you combine French and Germans? Well, I'm not sure what that would be. They're kind of similar when you think about it. Just that the Germans are much more known for their military prowess, and the French are known for their cultural gifts. And so, what would that be? Like very cultural Germans or very cultured militarists? I'm not sure what that would. That's the right term. Let's see. Maybe it'd be easier, like combining Europe and Asia, like French and Tibetans, Germans and Tibetans. Irish and Spanish. Wow, that would have been a good one. The Spanish had like a Spanish had like a relationship with the French, like the British had a relationship with the Irish, as in a very rough one, you know, through history. I have a bit of addiction to this diet soda, but it's a strange kind of addiction because I can just run out of diet pop and then not drink it again for months and months, and then, well, there's a sale at the local grocery store and I get myself a case. So, well, yeah, nobody on earth, I think, has an addiction like that, right? I mean, the only way you give up an addiction like that, an addiction usually, is because you end up in prison and you can't, you know, they won't let you go. If you're a gambling addict, they're not going to let you go to the casino in prison. And if you're a drug addict, they're not going to give you your habits. Let's see. Sorry to give you a headache, my friend. Bowen said. Not Bowen. Cutter said. Bowen. Who naturally did not reply. As though never there. Yeah, I like a little more Shakespearean kind of wording. I'm very impressed by the way characters talk in the Lord of the Rings. I don't remember them speaking so Shakespeare-like in The Hobbit. Everything seemed to be very plain spoken. It's almost like that book was written for a mass audience or something. They were pretty plain spoken in most of the Lord of the Rings, except when people who weren't hobbits showed up, and then suddenly they started speaking a little more Shakespearean, especially the men, the humans, you know, us. They're definitely us, except they're, you know, very tall. They're strangely tall and handsome sounding, when in reality our ancestors were mostly squat and tanned and dark-haired, not blondes. Who naturally did not reply. Carter supposed it was not too late. Turn back now. He didn't have to kill those days. Then Cutter heard them. One of the Jade lady scientists calling them. In English, speaking with a taller but impatient tone. Why don't you last out? The lady scientist asked. Shut up, monkey. Cutter muttered under his breath. The damn lady. Monkey continued squawking. Squawking. Squawking, is that the right term? I mean, I'm not gonna... I don't think I should continue that analogy. Let's see. No need to use, like, some verb for the sounds a monkey makes, which I'm not sure what sounds a monkey even makes. I mean, they mostly make, like, grunts and other utterances like that, and maybe the occasional growl or something. The mole might be one of you, Westerners. The lady scientist continued. She yelled. The Westerners sold each other out in the last war. This is no different. Westerners have no loyalty to each other. Oh, you fucking Jade do. Cutter thought. Cutter made up his mind. Then. It's time for him to take. It's time for him to hunt shoot some fish in a barrel. Put his pistol away. He took out the M16. And he marched into the room. As soon as Wizza Rook saw the look on that Zedin sergeant's face, he knew the hour had come. They were in great danger. He had the look of a man about to do something repulsively evil. Wizza had seen his own countrymen. And with that expression, in the aftermath of some fight, where a bunch of the enemy, where they had lost after the battle. It often happened. I often saw it when prisoners had been taken, when mass prisoners had been taken, and Jade soldiers felt like too many of their own had been lost in the fray. Why should the enemy be allowed to live when they killed so many of us? And oftentimes, usually, when these questions were asked aloud, those prisoners ended up joining their dead countrymen. Wizza did not take part in such crimes, though maybe it was likely a crime for him to just stand war criminal. They say all war is a crime, but clearly we don't feel that way. A lot of people committed war crimes in Vietnam, and they got off scot-free. It wouldn't be right to punish American boys, I guess. And it was likely a crime for them to just stand and watch those crimes happen. And watch those things happen. The Zedin sergeant, who said his name was Cutter Tolson, had an 16 in his hands, fully loaded, no doubt. He was wielding it from the hip. It seemed like 10 minutes. Everything was in slow motion. As the Zedin came in. Seemed like an hour passed as the Zedin took aim with his rifle. Not within. Seemed like an hour passed in the seconds. It took Wizza to yell, "Everyone get down." Down. The top of his lungs. Most of his Jade countrymen were throwing themselves to the floor as the Zedin opened fire. That lady scientist, Mo Ledge Ha, was frozen like a deer in the headlights. Wizza grabbed her and threw her to the ground at the same time that he was spinning himself before her. Was spinning her so that he was in the path of the Zetan's bullets. He would try to be the girl's shield. He didn't know if the rounds would pass through him. They would probably pass through him and the body armor he gave the girl. Would stop rifle bullets. If it was armor in a video game, it would. The more realistic video games have it so when you get hit by a bullet, your health and armor go down at the same time, instead of like the armor all going down at once and then your health starts going down after that. I guess that is the more realistic option for both to go down a bit, but you know, what was I gonna say? Yeah, real life bullets go through armor easily, especially heavy caliber bullets like you'd find in a rifle. Wizza was hit twice in the first volley from the Zetan, with most of the rounds going wild and splintering, then shattering the glass. Glass rained on the people all around, because the girl scientist was on the floor. Is the Jade Lady Doctor, yeah, that's her, was on the floor, screaming her head off, and holding her hands to her ears. The sound of her own screams was hurting her. Several stray rounds wounded Wizza's countrymen, but none lethally, as far as he could tell. Wizza himself stayed on his feet, despite his wounds screaming at him, to fall down and curl into a ball. Wizza turned around to face the Zetan, to give him a defiant, wild-eyed, stern, narrow-eyed look. The Zetan was still firing from the hip, and he looked baffled to see Wizza's determination face. He expected fear, and instead got defiance. Wizza took more rounds. Another volley, a few rounds, this time through his abdomen. Felt like every organ in his body had been punctured. And a terrible fire shot through him. Wizza wondered if his spine had been hit. If so, he shouldn't have been on his feet anymore. He should have fallen. He should have been dead on the floor. Somehow, he was still standing. Yeah, at the end of that movie, Scarface. And that was a good final shootout, wasn't it, folks? Okay, folks, have a nice day. Signing off here.